Hello there. Remote work is becoming the new normal more than the exception. Managing a remote workplace is quickly becoming necessary for leaders to learn and to develop. In this video, I will share with you 5 tips on how you can manage your growing remote workforce. I'll be right back. Welcome back. My name is Raymond Huan, and if you own a business, you are interested in business, or you wish to learn about the tips and tricks on how to operate your business better, I encourage you to click on the subscribe button that you see before you right now. In 2021, a survey by the Australian Bureau of Statistics showed that more than 40% of the employed Australians worked from home. 40% in 2021. Many companies, including the Disney company, have job roles that are considered remote on a permanent basis. There are many advantages to remote work, not just for employees, but also for the companies themselves. It opens the company to more candidates because the geographic location no longer becomes a limitation for work. It is also more inclusive, as it opens job roles to individuals who may usually be passed over because of their inability to work in an office setting, such as parents with young kids or even individuals with disabilities. So what are the best practices for managing remote employees? And what do managers and business owners need to consider when managing a remote workforce? Let's take a look at that right now. Culture is a way of doing things. We do things differently in the office, which means that we need to set a different tone when only some people work in the office. The focus of building and nurturing a remote workplace culture should be in belonging, in making everyone feel that they belong to the team. Google has found that high-performing teams thrive in an environment with psychological safety. So how will team members feel safe if they don't feel that they belong to begin with? A culture where everybody feels that they belong begins with a clear, honest, and respectful communication. Communicate expectations on how to behave and how you measure performance, provide honest and constructive feedback, and make sure that you do it respectfully. Contextualize your communication. In the absence of face-to-face communication, some non-verbal cues are lost. Body language that conveys emotions, for example. In the office setting, we hold formal and informal discussions. But in the remote workplace, we should also establish communication rules of conduct that distinguishes between formal and casual conversations. Previously, email was the primary mode of virtual communication in the office setting. However, email is not typically an ideal platform for casual conversations. You may want to use instant message platforms such as Slack, Google Meet, or Microsoft Teams for these type of conversations. For more structured communication required in managing projects, use project management platforms such as Monday, Asana, or Trello. Just as communication changes in a remote workplace, so does mentoring employees. The downside of remote work is that it's a lot easier to feel isolated from your teammates. It becomes important for managers to check in on their team members regularly, even more regularly than the office setting. Managers should learn how to be more intentional in connecting with their teams. It is helpful if they talk to individual members of their own team about what they enjoy doing, what they don't, and what they want to start doing. In these conversations, it is appropriate to start working on a training and development plan that can be incorporated into their workload. The most common reason why many managers prefer having a team on site rather than remote is that they don't know how to keep tabs with their team members. The traditional office setup valued team members showing up and staying late as a measure of commitment. A lot of evidence shows that that is not true, and in fact, in hustle cultures, it is actually counterproductive because it places a lot of stress on the team members. Managers should instead focus on results and the team performance rather than on how many hours team members spend working and how they spend those hours. Managers should learn to nurture the employee autonomy, allowing them to decide on what, how, when, and where to work as long as the work they are accountable to gets done. There is no reason to mistrust an employee that you need to micromanage them. Because if you don't trust them to do the work that they were hired to do, why hire them in the first place? Managers are also responsible for nurturing the next generation of remote team managers. The best way to teach is by example, because team members have a model to follow. And this is also why it is important for remote team managers today to embrace flexible working arrangements. This entails understanding why employees prefer to work remotely and that life sometimes happens, which affects some aspects of work. But it is also crucial for managers to learn how to hold their team members accountable to their work. Thanks to technology, remote work is going to be the new normal. This is why managers today need to learn how to manage a remote team. It's an important skill to possess. Managers need to know how to build and nurture a culture of belonging, and they must learn to communicate using different communication platforms to contextualize dialogue with team members. They also need to know how to mentor their team members and to develop them into the next generation of remote managers. Most importantly, they need to learn how to embrace autonomy and flexibility by focusing on results and not the hours spent working. My name is Raymond Wan. I hope that you have benefited from watching this video, and I look forward to catching up with you in the next video very soon.